All right, I hope you can, yes, I hope you can hear me and see my sharing, which is your homework 9. Yeah, please read, like, you can knock your camera if you want to acknowledge you are looking at the right stuff, which is your homework. Okay. My students are all very cute. All right, so let me launch this PowerPoint on the right side. Okay, so if you look at this, question 118. So it says the selling price. Okay, let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see the question more clearly. Okay, it says the selling price of a rice cooker is this 68.25 and 59.95 at store Y and Z. And then each store will be running a promotion this weekend and giving 25% discount. Y gives a 25% discount. Z gives a 10% discount. So over here, how do you do questions without using a calculator? How do you reach this conclusion? How do you reach the conclusion like store Y is the better option for Mrs. Tan? How do you do questions like this? So what's your approach? Estimation. All right, good. So yeah, so basically the concept is estimation. Okay, so you need to make use of the concept of estimation or approximation. All right, so if you, okay, by the way, when you do questions like this, I think the better way to find out the answer is always use Excel. Okay, let me just use Excel here. So you can also use Excel because I think you have Excel on your laptop or your iPad. Okay, or you can use numbers. Okay, so you have this store Y, and then you have this store Z, right? And then the price at store Y is 68.25 and this is 59.95, right? And now so I'm showing you using a calculator first. All right, I'm showing you are using a calculator first. So you are getting a 25% discount. So this will be a 10% discount. All right, so you will get this times your this 1 minus this. Bracket. So what's happening? Why I don't get the answer? Hold on, there's a problem with this. What problem do I have? This is percentage, right? Yes, this is percentage. What's wrong? So times 1 minus. Yeah, good. Okay. So all right. So if you look at the this over here, so you can actually see that Z costs more, right? Z costs more because after the 10% discount, store Z cost 53.95, while 53.96 to two decimal places, right? And while this, okay, Y store Y cost Mrs. Tan 51.19, all right, after 25% discount. So you can clearly see that if you use a calculator, you can see that store Y offers a cheaper option to this Mrs. Tan. So, but how do you do this question without using calculator? So you use estimation. What is your estimation thought process? So you can't use a calculator. So what is your estimation process? Can you tell me how you How you estimate this? What's the logic? So you round up or down. So you round. Okay, so you round 68.25. Are you going to round this 68.25 to a whole number, and then you are going to round this to a whole number as well? Are you going to like round this to a whole number, which is $70, and then if you round this to a whole number, you get a 60, or rather you can also round this to 68. Okay, to whole numbers. So based on this 68, this is $60. Then what's your next thinking process to decide? Okay, store. Okay, this is store Y, this is store Z. So store Y offers a cheaper option. Divide by 4, divide by 10. Okay, so okay, so what you are, okay, okay, this is one way. Yep, you're right. So this is one way. So when the store gives a 25% discount, right? So you divide by 4. So basically this is what you get. Basically you get one, let me go to 17, and then over here it goes to 6. Okay, and then this $17 is the discount, and then this $6 is the discount, and then you just 60 minus 6, and then you will get 54, and then 60 minus 17, you will get 51, and then somehow then you realize that 51 is smaller than 54, so therefore store Y offers a cheaper price. All right, so this is one way. Okay, this is one way, but let me give you another approach or another estimation process. Okay, so this is one way. Okay, this is one way, right? Let me give you another approach. Okay, so can you just delete your drawing or your handwriting first? Thank you so much. So over here, so I will do the same thing. I will round the cost to whole numbers. Okay, so if you look at these two numbers, okay, they are different by about 10+%. Okay, what do I mean by that? Meaning 10% of $60 is, I mean 10% more, 10% more than $60 is $66. Do you agree? Do you agree? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. So if 10% more than 60 is about, it's not about $66, it's actually $66. Okay, so 68, so $66 compared to $68, so you have a $8 difference, in fact. Okay, you have a $8 difference. So I will say the difference is about 10% plus, but definitely less than. So that means the difference between these two numbers, right, it is more than 10%, but more than 10%. This is 10% plus, but definitely smaller than 15%. Okay, definitely smaller than 15%. Okay, so based on this understanding, right? Based on this understanding, so this store offers a 25% discount. So over here is discount, and over here offers a 10% discount. Okay, so when it comes to the discount, the discount difference is 15%, right? Okay. So with this, the difference between the price, the original price, is about 10% plus. But the discount offer is more than 15%. Okay. So which means this discount 15% will more than compensate, or rather more than offset this. Okay, more than offset this. So if this 15% between these two discounts offered by the two different stores will more than offset this difference in the original price, so it makes sense. For me to say this will be a cheaper option. This will be a cheaper option. All right. So similarly, so next time if you get this, let's say I get $70 here. So if I give you a $50 here, so over here the difference is $20. So this is a 40% more than this $50, right? So 40% more than $50. Okay. Do you know how I come to this conclusion? So you 50, you times 1 plus 40%, and then you get $70. Okay, so that's why I say it's 40% more than $50 to reach $70. So so this basically this is the difference. This is the difference in percentage, okay, between the two numbers. So if they offer discounts, okay, so in order to offset this, okay, difference between the two original price, so the discount should be difference by more than 40% in order for this to offer a cheaper price. So are you clear? So probably you want to, probably an example is over here is 50% and over here is 5%. So if this difference discount is actually 45%, right? So then you can see that this 45% will more than offset this 40%. So in order for this store Y to offer a cheaper option. Are you clear? Are you clear? Yeah. So I'm giving you another perspective to look at such question. Okay. So both estimation works, but which one works better or which one suits you more? Please use that. Okay. So when it comes to secondary school, what I'm teaching you is not just one solution. Okay, I'm trying to give you different flavors, okay, and different approaches to look at a question. All right, because you need to look at a question from a different angles. Okay, so in order to have a better understanding of this estimation process. All right. All right, so let's move on. So there is no right or wrong approach. It's just like better or not as good approach. Okay, so over here 119. Okay, so over here 119, I think you can do the same thing. So you have this you can round this to 210, then you can round this to 200, and then in between this is a 5% difference, 5% more than 200. If you can't see, so there is a $10 difference. So 10 over this 200 is a 5% more. Okay, so each store will be running a promotion this weekend, and then Glee Music Store, this is Glee, and then this is Joy. And then Glee Music offers $34. This is 15%. So 15% of this is $30. So the difference is 10+%. So then you just minus it off, right? So over here you get what? So let me use your approach. Then this is 20 is 176, and then this is what? This is 170. Okay. Then you can see that the cheaper option will be this. All right. The difference is $4. So the $4 is not enough to offset the $10. That's another way to look at it. Okay, the $4 is not enough to offset this $10. So therefore, this is the cheaper option. All right, so you choose joy. Okay, good. Okay, over here, right, it says show your working clearly. So probably you want to show this working. Yeah, you just write down 210, 200. Like if you want to present your answer, right, you're going to present your answer, I think most likely you can actually construct a table. You can construct a table. Okay, this is store, so this is the G store, this is the J store, so this is the original price OP, then this is 210 round off, this is 200, and then this is a discount, then this discount is 36. This discount is 15% off, which is $30, and then of course, therefore this is the selling price, right? Then yeah, so over here is 4, over here is 174, and this is 170. Okay, so probably you want to show this as you're working. All right, then after that, then you conclude that, oh, joy. Okay, joy offers a cheaper price. All right, yeah, so this will be the working. You can actually show for this question 119. So similarly, you can also show a similar working to question this 119 or 118 as well. All right. Okay, good. Question 120. Okay, so it's about exchange, currency exchange or foreign exchange. All right, so a handbag costs this much, and then the conversion rate is this. Okay, of course, then you can actually use this. So you use 4740, you divide by 1000, so cancel, so you 470, and then you times, so you times this. Okay, so you will end up with probably you can just use this, just 0.10. So you use estimation, right? So then you get, so it's 470 times 0.1, so you get 47, then $47. Like this is a round off numbers. So estimate the price. So the price is $47. All right. So this is the working. All right. Pretty easy. Same thing. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this, but I would like to talk about question 122 because I find that this is more interesting. So you have this 250 gram of flour, and they cost you 0.95. This is 250 plus 50, so it's 300 gram. This is 1.18. Okay, so they say which of the option is better value for money, right? So you say A. So this is A, this is B. So how do you do this? Right? How do you do this? All right. So if you round this to $1, if you round this to $1, then you will see that your this $1 you can buy 300 grams. So this $1 you can buy 250 grams. Okay, so it seems to me, right, if I use this estimation process or approach, B offers a better price. Okay, So does B offer a better price? The answer is A. So how? So let's use a calculator to verify. So over here, 250, 0.95, 1.18, this is 300. So just divide. So it's cost per gram. Okay, so just use 95 cents better, 118. So it's easier to read. So this is more expensive. This is cheaper. Okay, so looks like this estimation approach will not give you the correct answer. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is when you use estimation, sometimes if these two numbers, right, or the price is very close, your estimation will not be good enough to have a good outcome. Okay, so this is also one of the pitfalls, or one of the cons, the not so good points, okay, of estimation. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is, okay, if the numbers are very vastly different meaning like this, $100, $150, so it's vastly different. Okay, so $50 difference. Okay, so the estimation will be accurate. Okay, if the estimation is 100 and then the other one is 105, okay, and then your the weight is 200 gram, and then this is 199 or 190 gram. So things become a bit fuzzy, like not so clear, like which one is a cheaper option. Okay, so if the weight is very close to each other, and if the price is also very close to each other, so this is the price, your estimation will not be very accurate. All right, the estimation will not be very accurate. All right, so if the price is vastly different, meaning like this is 100 but this is 200, then you can use estimation, and then your outcome will be quite accurate. So I also want to let you know that when you use estimation, please be aware of one of its pitfalls or cons or the shortcomings. All right, are you clear? So why we learn estimation is not to have a, okay, of course we want to have an accurate estimate. Okay, we want to have an accurate estimate. Okay, but if we use estimation, right, estimation means what? Not accurate enough. Okay, the word estimate is for you to guess to the best ability. Okay, guess to the best ability. Okay, so you can only guess to your best ability. All right, so if you want to have the most accurate answer, okay, you still have to use a calculator. Okay, so in fact, right, when you estimate, right, you want to have a sense. So the objective of estimate is to have a sense of how big or how small certain thing is. Okay, to have a sense. Okay, the exact number doesn't matter much. Okay, it's like, oh, like what is the COVID-19? Can you still remember COVID-19 related deaths in the world at the moment to one significant figure? Oh, yeah, yes, it's about 5 point something million, right? Okay, I'm not sure these days if this number is already more than 5. Okay, so if it's more than 5, it should be 6 million already. Okay, if to one significant figure. Okay, so let's do for one decimal places, so you will have a better understanding. So if it's what it, so it probably 5.6. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, the range is 5 to 6 mil across the world. Okay, so it's for us to have a sense how big or how small the number is. Okay, instead of concerning with the accuracy of the numbers. All right, we're not arguing like, oh, certain countries did not report to the WHO, the World Health Organization. That's why the numbers get affected. Okay, we are not so concerned about the accuracy of the number. Okay, but we are very much concerned about the size. Okay, the size of the number. All right, so it's from 5 to 6 million. All right, good. So I hope you understand why we want to learn estimation. Okay, the objective. Okay, over here I will just pick one of the two to talk about. Probably this 117. Over here you have this, and then you say estimate the cost. Okay, so the way I estimate is for me to quickly estimate is 118. So I will pick 10, 52. I will pick 20, 10. I will pick 200. So this will be 1180. This will be 104. Okay, then total cost, right? Total cost. Then you just add up. Okay. Over here it says giving your answer correct to the nearest $100. So can you see that in fact you are allowed to use calculator. Okay, so over here the question, right, it never says you can't use a calculator, so that means you can use calculator to help you to sum this up. Okay, so estimate that doesn't mean you can estimate, doesn't mean you cannot use calculator. Okay, it depends. Okay, so for the sum here, right, you can use a calculator and you just sum them up. All right, yes. So what do you get? So you get okay, something like, yeah, close. Is it close? Let me see. So this is 4, 1, 9. So hold on. So I will get 4180. So I get 4180. So 108 is 4284. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I will say close. Yours might be let me see. Yours might be more accurate than mine. Yeah, yours might be more accurate than mine. Okay. It depends how you estimate here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it says, will Madam Ho will be able to purchase all the listed in the table? Explain your answer. So 5500, of course, right? Of course. Because your this 550, the 5,500 is definitely more than this 42992 something. All right. So definitely Madam Ho can purchase all these items and still have some balance. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is the one I want to talk about more. Let's pick this one, 68. So in fact, if you can see, right, this 91 and then 91 and 68, right? They are alike. Okay, so I just go through one and then you use the approach for the other, right? So over here you have this, express this, and then correct the one significant figures. So once again, how do you find one significant figure? So just to remind you once again, the first significant figure is non-zero. Okay, so if you have 290.555, and then if you have this 498.11123, so you ask yourself, is this the first? Yes, it's the first because this is non-zero. So if this is the first significant figure, then you just draw a line here. Ask yourself, round up or round down? 0, round down. So 200. So this is the answer. All right, then next. Is this the first? Yes, it's non-zero. So ask yourself, round up or round down? 9, round up. So it's 500. So far so good? Yes, correct. Therefore, make use of the, so over here say use your answer in part A. So you need to use the answer in part A. You cannot use a calculator. Okay, so you must use this 200 square over 500. So you get 40,000 over 500. So you end up with 80. Okay. So if they ask you to use your answer in part A, right, you must use your answer in part A. You cannot use another method, right? Over here, so part C is the one that you can use a calculator and then give your answer correct to the nearest integer. So just use your calculator, which I have here. This is my calculator. So it's 209.55, 209.555, and then 498.123. So I will times these two together first, and I will use this to, I will use times, then divide by this. So I will get 88.157. So you round this to if you round this to whole number, actually there is a feature here you can round. You see? That will help you auto round it. So it's 88. Okay, can you see it's 88? Okay, so if you know how to use Excel, right? I mean this program, you can round any numbers. So example, if you want to round this to one significant figure, you just give yourself. Oh, this is for decimal places, not for one significant figures. Okay, so seems like this Excel software is good to round to whole number or decimal places, not so much about significant figures. So you still have to use your manual method. All right. Okay, good. Over here it says estimate, right? So when you need to use an estimate, right, then you shouldn't end up with this answer. So let me show you how you should use estimate to get this. Square root. So what this question wants you to do is, what is a square root something that can give you a whole number? 64. 64 is very close to 65. And when you square root 64, you get 8. Okay. So that means you estimate your this. So you estimate your this using this. Then you get 8. Then the next one is this. So what's the one? My guess is 13 times 13 is 169. Okay. So you estimate your this square root 171 to square root 169. Let me test. So 13. So yes. Okay. So it's 13 times 13. So this will give you 13. So 8 over 13. So this is the value. Okay. And by the way, you don't have to give this answer in decimal number. You don't have to. If you get 8 over 13, this is the answer. It's good enough. So there's no need to like change it to. Let me just calculate the decimal value for this. Quite often. 0.61. 538462. Yeah. So let me find out the original value then. It's pretty off, right? So square root. Yeah, this is how you launch square root. So I need to square root 65. Okay, I get this. Then I need to square root 171. And then I need to divide. Yeah, it should be this, right? Then how come you get 0.3786? This answer doesn't make sense. Okay. Okay, I don't know how you get 0.3786. The exact one will be 0.6165 something. All right. So compared to my 8/13, yeah, 8/13 is 8/13 is closer. Okay. So this is the answer for this. All right. So similarly, how do you estimate this? Then you just have to ask yourself, what's the closest? Okay, this square root what 908 you can estimate. You get 10. How do you get 10? So you estimate this using square root what? 900. You get 30, right? Now what about this? 8,000, right? So you get 20, right? So therefore 30 minus 20 is 10. Right? Okay. This is one way. This is one way. All right. This is one way to estimate this. Another way to estimate this is just use your calculator. Okay. Just use your calculator. Use your calculator. I mean, basically just key this into your calculator. Okay. Key this into your calculator, and then your calculator will show you an answer in decimal number. And then you just round that number to a whole number. All right. Okay. So, yeah, done. Yep. Similarly, 71. 71. So you can actually square root 64 times the 10 plus the 1. And then over here is cube root. What's the number? What's the number? You get 127. Let me test. Can you tell me what's the number? Is it 6? Let me just do a calculation. No, 6 is not the one. Let me change it. 5 is not. Is it 4 then? Also no. So 127 cube root. So what is that? It should be 5, right? 5 is 125. Yeah. So it should be 5. So you square 125 minus 3. So this will give you 8. This will give you 80. That is 81. This is 5. This is 2. So you get 81 over 2, which is 40.5. Yeah. How come you get 16? How do you get 16? How do you get 16? By the way, do you understand how I do this? Like how I do this? Like I estimate using square root 64 when the question gives me 60. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, and by the way, I have problems figuring out what is the closest to 127. So I just use my calculator here. Okay, I figure out I tested 6 first. Okay, I test 6, it gives me something very large. So I test, so I go lower. So it's actually 5 times 5 times 5 will give me 125. So that's why I use 125 to estimate. Okay, so the answer should be 40.5. All right. Okay. Okay, good. So for this question, it's also very simple. So square root 15.98 is 60, square root 16 to estimate. This use 2, so it's 4 minus 2, which is 2. 2 square is 4. Yes, answer is 4. Okay, very simple. All right, so I will just pick okay, last 3 questions. So we have 2 questions here. I will just use 3 questions. So let me just figure out one of them, and then the rest you just use the same approach. Basically, these are just more practice questions for you. Let me just go through 95. So it says the midday temperature city A, so A, Monday, is negative 2.5 degrees Celsius. And it dropped by 4.3. Okay, so seems like I need to use a calculator. So I launch my this Excel. All right, so CTA midday temp. And you have negative 2.5, negative 2.5. Okay, good. And this is Monday. Okay, let me just. And you have the Tuesday. Then it says what? It dropped by 2.3. Drop by 2.3 means you minus 4.3. So you end up with this. So if it's not big enough, let me just make it bigger. All right, so this is Tuesday. So your answer is minus 6.8, which is correct. Then the midday temperature rose by 2.9 on Wednesday. Okay, good. So in fact, I can actually do this. Yeah, good. So Wednesday rose 2.9, so it's plus. And you get minus 3.9. So it says calculate the midday temperature on Tuesday. Tuesday is here, which is correct. Your answer is correct. And calculate the midday temperature on Wednesday. So Wednesday is minus 3.9. Okay, minus 3.9. Very good. Your answer is also correct. So calculate the difference in midday temperature between Monday and so the difference between these two, Wednesday and Monday. Let me just use red color. How do you find the difference? Okay, you find the difference by using this one minus this one. So the difference is minus. Okay, so your answer is 1.4. My answer is minus 1.4. So is it minus 1.4 or is it 1.4? How do you decide? How do you decide? How do you find the difference? Which is correct? So my answer is 1.4, minus 1.4. So your answer is 1.4. So should you take minus 1.4 as the answer or should you take 1.4 as the answer? 1.4. So you still stick with your answer. Okay, fine. Let's see. Let's see. So when it comes to this difference, okay. What's the meaning of difference? Okay, the difference means something minus something. Something minus something. All right, and what should be this something? And what should be this something? Okay, so you should take the bigger number minus the smaller number. All right, always. Okay, so if you look at this, right, Okay, the bigger number will be minus 2.5. And the small number will be minus 3.9. Therefore, I should take minus 2.5 minus this minus 3.5. So the answer should be 1.5. Good. You stick with your answer and your answer is correct. Okay. So remember, when you find the difference between two numbers, always take the bigger number minus the smaller number. Are you clear? Are you clear? So in fact, thanks. So in fact, right, the reason you stick with your answer 1.4 is because you always take the bigger number minus the smaller number to find the difference. Are you clear? So you use this formula. Okay, bigger minus smaller. It will give you the difference. All right. Next, if the average midday temperature from Monday to Thursday was minus 3.8, find the midday temperature on Thursday. Okay, good. So I can actually make use of like this. So they say, hey, now my average is minus 3.8. Okay. So in order to have an average of minus 3.8, so you have 4 days, right? Then you just find the total first. So the total should be this. Okay, the total should be this. So you already have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So to find Thursday is very simple. Use the total minus the rest. And you will get Wednesday. So Wednesday is minus 2. Yeah, minus 2. Yeah, good. Okay, so that's how you get this. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so sometimes when we deal with negative numbers, right? Something I want to caution you is when we deal with negative numbers, I think it's better for us to draw a number line. I hope you still remember what is a number line. Okay, they did not ask you to draw a number line, but that doesn't mean you cannot draw a number line yourself. And let me show you why you need a number line. I mean, you can choose to do without number line, but let me show you when you do it with a number line, it's clearer. Okay, especially when you deal with negative and positive numbers together. So when you draw a number line, right? So this is the number line. So by the way, we can actually talk about the concept of number line again. So to refresh your memory. So this is a number line, and the first number I always label is 0. And then of course the next one will be 1. And I will label the negative 1 as well. Okay, then you can continue -2, -3, -4, and of course 2, 3, 4. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now with this number line, right, you can actually see that, okay, this is small, this is big. Okay, so how do you decide? Okay, just now we have Monday is -2.5, -2.5 is here. So let's say if I need to label -2.5, so -2.5 will be here. Okay, degrees Celsius. And then Wednesday is -3.9, so it's somewhere here. Okay, so based on this, based on the positions of these two numbers, I can conclude that -2.5 is bigger. Is bigger than -3.9. So therefore, I use -2.5 to minus -3.9. Right? Then I will end up with 1/4. Are you clear? Are you clear or not? Because sometimes I think our brain will malfunction. Meaning what? Malfunction means like somehow, oh, short circuit, like make a mistake. Like -3.9 is bigger than -3.5. You know, sometimes our brain will work like this. Why? Because we see that, hey, 3.9 is bigger than 2.5. That's why -3.9 is bigger than -2.5. Is this correct or not? Is this correct? The answer is no, because we are talking about negative number. Okay. So in order not to make this silly mistake, because sometimes I also make silly mistakes, so it's better to use a number line. So with this number line, you will not make silly mistakes like this. Okay, you will not be confused. Okay, this minus 3.9 is bigger than minus 2.5, or rather, you will know that which number is bigger than which number if you have drawn this number line, right? Okay, very clear. So the significance of using a number line is this. Okay, to help you decide. Okay, if you have a few negative numbers, then you can actually tell which is bigger, which is smaller. Are you clear? Are you clear? Okay, good. Thanks. Right, good. So 101, it says what? The greatest number of prices that can be given out. This is interesting. Don't understand. Haha. This question, okay, I think there is no fixed answer. It tests your logical thinking. Okay, let's look at this together. So it says a shopping mall, and then he has to prepare the price of a lucky draw and price consult voucher. So you have this voucher denomination. So basically you have this, you have $2, $5, and $10 vouchers. Okay, you don't have 2.5. Okay, so let's say you cannot give out 2.5, but you can give $7. You know why? $2 voucher plus $5 voucher, that is $7. Okay, you can also give out $15 because you can mix and match. Okay, all right, are you clear? Are you clear like what kind of what prices you can give out given these 3 different types of vouchers? Are you clear now? So over here they say what? They say you have 300 $2 voucher, 200, then 160. Okay, then each price consists of the same number of vouchers of the same denomination. Each price consists of the same number of vouchers of this. So okay. So of course, during a lucky draw, okay, have you played any lucky draw before? Have you won anything in a lucky draw before? No. Okay, so no wonder you don't understand what is a lucky draw. But you know what is a lucky draw, right? Lucky draw is something like, you know, lottery. Yeah. So lucky draw is a lottery. Is a game of lottery. Okay, it's a game of lottery, but it differs. It differs from like our Singapore Toto or 4D or 彩票. Okay, it differs from that. Okay, it differs from that significantly. So let me give you a very simple example of lucky draw. Lucky draw, usually you have the first prize, and usually the first prize is the highest monetary reward you can get. And then of course the second prize, and then it's smaller. So let's say this is $1,000, and this is, I don't know, 500. I'm just giving you an example. So this will be 100, and of course subsequently or maybe they will stop at the third prize. Okay, so yeah, so this is the general idea of lucky draw and the prizes for a lucky draw. Okay, so now they say the greatest number of prizes that can be given out. So yeah, so given this, what is the first prize? That you can give out based on the vouchers you have. Okay, so if you sum up all this, the total amount is 600 for $2 note. This will be 1,000. This will be 160. So if you sum up all this, you add up all this, the total price that can be given up is, this is 1,006 as well. So you add up, so it's 3200. So the highest possible price is 3200 without any restrictions. Okay, without any restrictions. But looks like there is this restriction here. They say same number of voucher of the same denomination. What does this mean? The same number of vouchers of the same denomination. Each price consists of the same number of vouchers of the same denomination. So that means each price consists of the same number of voucher of the same denomination. So same number of vouchers, same denomination. Number of vouchers, same denomination. Does that mean if you give out $102, you need to give out $105, and you need to give out $110? All right. Okay, that's my understanding of this statement. Okay, so in this case, the greatest number of prices that can be given out is, so since you have what, the highest number of vouchers, right, is 160 for $10. So you choose 160, 160, 160. Then you just times them. And then you just add them up. That will be the greatest number of prices. Oh, no, the greatest amount. Okay, this will give me the greatest amount, the first price. I'm not answering the first question. The first question is greatest number of prices. Number of prices. What's the meaning of number of prices? Is it the amount? I think so. So I'm answering the first question. So I am assuming part A is they want you to find the greatest price, which gives you the best monetary award. So this is you sum it up, that's the greatest price. Okay, then the number of vouchers in a price, the total value of the vouchers in a price. Okay, the part C, I have figured it out. Part C, the total value of the vouchers in a price is this. And then the number of vouchers in a price, probably in this price is, so the number of vouchers is this, 480. Okay, but I can understand you. This question is a bit confusing. But anyway, if based on my understanding of this question, the greatest price will be the sum of this, which is let me just figure it out. So it's 80, 1280. All right, 1280. The number of vouchers 480. Total value, yeah, 3200. Okay. By the way, I will say that the answer is not so important, but the thinking process is more important. All right, just like the total value of the vouchers, so you just have to figure out all this. Okay, and then given the greatest price, with this restriction, then is 1280. Okay, given by this. And then of course the number of vouchers in a price, then you just because you have 160 for $2, $5, and $10. So you just 160 times 3. That's why you get 480. The thinking process is more important. The answer is not so important. All right. Okay. Okay. So good. So with this, I think we complete the first half of our lesson. All right. Okay. So let's take a brief break, and then we can come back and then talk about the 9A, which is so interesting. All right. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Hey, by the way, what's interesting in your life for the past 1 week? Anything interesting you want to share? Can't read. Oh, thinking. So means thinking, right? Okay. So when you need to think about it, that means nothing is interesting then. So what have you been doing, by the way? Besides tuition, like what else? Sleeping, what else? School? What school? I thought you started. Hey, today is Monday, right? So today is Monday, so you started school on today, right? Okay, tell me a bit about your school. Don't write, don't scribble. Tell me something about your school. I want to know. River Valley, come, speak up. So what have okay, then what else? I mean your school, not like, oh, my school is far away. Like your classmate, your teachers. What's the meaning of cool? Like cold-blooded or what? Or they are so nice? Or they are very nice to you? Nice. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. When you say seniors, so that means you get what do you mean by seniors? Like your sec 2, sec 3, and or facilitator. So those who graduates or still in the school. Still in school. Okay, good. So your sec 2, sec 3, sec 4. Okay. So I think your school gives you a lot of support. Okay. They want you to get familiar, and then they want you to get accustomed to the River Valley way of school. So they want to get the seniors to talk to you, the newcomers, so to make you feel welcome. Yeah. Okay. So I feel that your school probably has very good facilities, like you say, which promotes your or which speeds up your this transition phase into your this new secondary school. All right, very good to hear that. Okay, so very good. So keep me updated about your school. Okay, let's look at this over here. Well, a lot of stars, huh? It's like I'm looking at the sky, a lot of stars. Stars means what? Don't know how to do, right? Star means don't know how to do, right? Okay, good. Okay, good. So factorize. Okay, let's not talk about the factorize question first. We have not talked about we will talk about it today, but we have not talked about this yet. Factorize. Okay, all these are factorized, so you can't do. Okay, but looks like this simplified. This one I think you can do. Okay, that's why you have an answer. Okay, so for this question, right, I think it's pretty clear cut how you can do this question. So this we'll talk about the factorization part today. Divide means over. Okay, so how do you do this question is you expand the a square. So you expand the a square is a times a. Okay, so I'm not going to use a times because the multiply sign can be seen as an x, right? So I don't want to confuse my students. So I'm not going to use my multiply sign. I use a dot in between. So I have two a's I have 3b. Okay, so I have expanded the numerator. So similarly, I need to expand the denominator. So 3a's, then 4b's. All right. So after the expansion, right, for both the numerator and the denominator, again, you can start to see that you can cancel 2a here, and you can cancel 3b here. So you get, I mean, I can use I can use an eraser here. It makes my life easier. So you end up with this one. Okay, and then of course, I think you can see that 6, you can divide by a 2, right? Get 3. Divide by 2, you get 1. So the answer is 3 and then AB. Did you get 3AB? No, you didn't simplify this part. So are you clear? How you can actually simplify this? Now, still no. I mean, after going through this example, you still don't know how to simplify? Okay, then let's do one more then. What's the meaning of A2? How do you expand A2? Expand means open it up. Yes, okay. So this is your expansion of this. So if you look at this, you can see that 6A2B3. So 6A2B3. So if I ask you to expand this, so what's the answer? Yeah, you can write on the line. Yeah, thanks. I thought A2 only. A2, 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 A2. How come you give me so many A's? Okay, good. So then what about 2A3? 2A3B4. Smaller, smaller, run out of space already. Okay, good. So based on your answer, let me just crop this out. Okay, good. Can you erase your handwriting? Yeah, good. Thanks. So based on your answer here, right? They say you need to divide. You divide, right? So when you divide this, that means you are actually dividing these two also. So when you divide, so now we need to look at this part, because we have already changed this to this. We have changed this to this, the expanded form. So once it's expanded form, then you can see that how many A you have here? 2A, A and A, both on the numerator and the denominator, you can cancel it, right? You know that you can cancel or not? If you have A and A above, A and A, both numerator and denominator, you can cancel, right? That's why I cancel the 2A's here. I cancel 2A's. I have 3B's here. I cancel. I also have 3B's here. Is there anything else I can cancel? 6 divided by 2, 2. So can you see that what I'm left with? I'm left with a 3 on top, and I'm left with a AB below. Are you clear? How I get 3 over AB now? And why didn't you understand in the first place? I mean, just now. So, are you sure now? Good. All right. So, in fact, to simplify any can be this. Okay. So how do you do this? All you need to do is expand it. I don't use a times. I don't use the cross. I use the dot. So I have 5 A's, and then of course I have 4 B's. Then below 3 A's, 3 B's. So can you see that I can actually delete the 3B, both numerator and denominator. 3A. So I end up with A times B. So A times A times B is A2 times B. So it's A2, A squared B. So this is the simplest. Are you clear? Are you clear? So in fact, if you do this enough, right? If you do this enough, right, you can actually no need to expand it, and then you get the answer very fast. So let's say you give me this. This is a C. Are you going to expand it? No. It's going to cost you a lot of time, right? So if you see that you have 12A, you have 5A below, 12A above. So if you cancel it, you have 7A above. Okay? And then you have 10C above, you have 10C below. If you cancel it, you have 10C above. So this is the answer. Are you clear? Are you clear or not? So if you do this enough, right, you don't have to expand it and figure out the simplified version. Okay, I show you this. I show you this. I show you. I need to expand it, and then I cancel is to so-called facilitate your understanding. Okay, to give you the intermediate step. What's my thinking process? Okay, but once you have done enough of this kind of questions, then you can quickly get the answer. All right. But next, we will talk about the star later on. Okay, for this question, right? I think the common mistake student make. So let me just take B as an example to share with you whether you make the common mistake or not. Okay, so for this question, you have different fractions, right? So how do you combine two different fractions? Okay, is to make the denominator the same. Make the denominator the same. So that's the technique you use. All right, just like you have half minus 1/3. How do you do half minus 1/3? You make the denominator the same. So once you have the same denominator, then you get 1/6. Okay, so you make use of the same technique here. Okay, you make use of the technique which is make the denominator the same, then only you can combine the two fractions. Okay, so remember this technique, right? So you times the 5 here. Okay, so instead of times 5, probably I want to use 5 times. So when I have 5 times, I need to have a brackets. Then over here, I need to have 2 times. I don't want to use a here. I need to use dot because I'm going to confuse myself with x. Okay, good. So you end up with what? You end up with so this one, open it up, you get 5x minus 10. You get 10 below. Minus, so you get 4x minus 2, 10. So how do you solve this? Okay, you combine them. So before you combine them, so the minus sign is here. So so basically the minus sign is minus the entire, minus this entire thing. That's why I put a bracket here. Okay, your minus here, right, is you minus the entire thing. Okay, that's why I have to put a bracket here. So when I put a bracket there, and then you will realize that I will end up with this. So minus, so I get minus 4x. Okay, let me just write this smaller. This is 10. So the first arrow, I will get minus 4x. The second arrow, I will get minus 2. So minus 2, I get plus 2. So I get 10. Okay, 5x minus 4x, I get x. So it means this. I do the x first, I get x. Minus 1 plus 2, I get plus 1. You can use a calculator. So this is the answer. Your answer is wrong. Your answer is wrong. Yeah, the answer is wrong. All right. Or did I make any? Oh, I make a mistake here. It's minus 10. It's minus 10. Okay, so let me redo. My 5x is still minus 4x is x. Minus 10 plus 2. So minus 10 plus 2 is minus 8. So our answer is minus 8. So your answer is correct. Yeah, so I make a mistake. Very good. Okay, so the most common mistake is here. The most common mistake is here, this part. Okay, the students never put the bracket here. Okay, they never put the bracket here, so it's wrong. You're supposed to put a bracket here. The reason is when you the minus here, right? You minus the entire block here. So when you minus the entire block, you need to put a bracket. Okay, so once you put a brackets, then you will get the correct answer, which is x minus 8 over 10. Okay, good. Let's look at the other question. Okay, okay, this one. Okay, this one is divide. Okay, so when you divide, right? I hope you know. Okay, next time I want you to learn something. Okay, I want you to learn what I want you to learn is, let's say if you are given like this question and you don't know what to do, right? Give yourself a simple example. Can you tell me how you do this question? Show me. Yeah, show me on the empty space. Or probably this. Yeah, 2 over 3 times divide. This is divide. 2 over 3. Okay, good. So this is the first approach. Huh? 2 times 2 is 4, right? It's times. Okay, so it's not plus. Okay, anyway, so for multiplication, right, is denominator times denominator and then numerator times the numerator. Okay, so yes, so can you see, you know what to do with fractions division, right? So therefore you do the same thing. You do the same thing. Okay, let's do the same thing to this question. So now it's not half, it's not 3 over 2. It's, can you clear your handwriting, please? Yeah, thanks. So instead of this, half is this first fraction. Divide. So when you divide, you times the flip version of the second fraction. Flip means up and down. Just flip it up and down. So my 10y squared comes to the numerator. This goes down. Okay. This at least you should start with this. Okay. Then what to do next? Do you have any idea what to do next? Then just times the numerator together. And times the denominator together. Can I ask you why I do it this way? Okay, you can you see that the 5y squared for the denominator and the 4y plus 8 in the denominator, 5y squared comes first, right? And then 4y plus 8, right, in the denominator. Why I switch the place? Why I put the 5y squared at the back and why I put the 4y plus 8 in front? Do you know why? Why I just switch place? Exactly. So if I can you see I have a bracket here and I have a bracket here. So can you see, like, if I arrange my numerator bracket times something, then it makes sense for me to arrange the denominator the same way. Okay, it makes sense, right? So therefore, I think you can see that y squared and y squared, you know what's the meaning of y squared, right? It's y times y, right? So over here is y times y. So can you see y times y times y both, okay? Numerator and denominator, you can actually cancel it out. We just talked about this concept just now, right? And then 10 divided by a 5, you get a 2, and then over here, 1. So done. Okay, at least you can reach this step, at least. But by the way, this is not the final step. This is not the final step. Okay, so in order for you to continue to get the simplest form, okay, you still need to continue, but you have not learned the factorization method first. The factorization. We're going to talk about it. Factorization, then you will get your simplest form. Okay, I will reserve the factorization method later on. Okay, before we end the lesson, I will reserve this factorization method later on. But let's look at one of these answer first. We'll come back to this slide. So let me quickly I can actually do it here. Really quick one. So you get 6r plus 9. All right. Do you open the brackets first before you do make the denominator the same? Do you think you should do it this way? Like open a bracket first, then make the denominator the same. You open, then do. Okay, in fact, right, I suggest you should not open and do. Let me tell you why. So when I open the bracket first, and then now when I go and make the denominator the same, right, I find it's harder. Okay, let me show you. So this is open and then make the denominator the same. Let me not open it first. Okay, let me not open it first. I will show it here. So I don't open it first. I times first. I will let you decide which one is easier later. So I know that this is 5, this is 3, so I need to times a 3. I need to times a 3, so I times a 3. I need to times a 5, I need to times a 5. So can you see that this 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 2 is 10. And then of course below is 15. Oh, it's so good to use technology. You can just erase. Okay. Okay, good. So what you do next? Open the brackets. Can you erase your handwriting, please? So it's 27. Thanks. So this is 10r minus 20 with 15. Okay, so now I have the same denominator. I combine. So it's 10r plus 27 minus. So the minus here, I need to minus the entire block. So I give it a bracket. So I get minus 10r when I open the brackets for the first arrow. And then for the second arrow, I get minus 20. So it's plus. So the answer is this, and then underline similar term. Then you should end up with 8r plus 47 over 15. Okay. Okay. Compare this to this, right? I prefer. Okay, I don't know which one you prefer, so it's up to you. But I will prefer this because over here I just times in, you know. All right. So it's up to you. Are you clear? So far so good. Okay, good. So looks like this simplify the expression. You have no problem. Okay. So let's take a look further. This should be quite easy, but I think it's very complicated. It should be quite easy, like A, part A. Okay, so when you have this medium bracket and when you have this small bracket, you do the small bracket first. I hope you know. Of course, before that, you need to underline similar term. So if you see an opportunity to simplify, you simplify first. So I see an opportunity to simplify this 5x minus 2x, 3x. Okay, then start doing it. Minus 3x, minus 5. So minus 5 is plus 5. Okay, then continue. This one, 7x minus 3x, 4x. Can you catch up? Am I going too fast? I hope not. Okay. So similarly, minus 4x. So 6x minus 2 minus 4x for the first arrow. Minus plus 5. Minus plus 5 is minus 5. Okay, can you clear your handwriting? Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So underline similar term with different, this is a wavy line, so it's 2x minus 2 minus 5 minus 7. That's how you get the answer. Not too hard, right? Not too hard, right? No. Okay, so can you do the 160 here? Let me just write the answer. I will write the question out. Can you do this here? Yeah. Try it out on the empty space here. This question. You start this question, right? Yeah. Okay, let's try this out. Let's write it here. I'm in the empty space. No response? Good. Nice. So you should be doing this. Yeah. Okay. So once you reach this step, right, I don't think you will make any mistake already. Okay. The most important thing is how you open the brackets. Okay. It's good to see. It's good to see that you have a plus minus. In fact, right, for the part here, right, I mean for this minus 7 and then minus 9n, right? If you don't jump step, right, it should be minus 63n. Okay. And then of course, then only you go and simplify plus minus 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 plus. Okay. Then of course, then you combine similar terms. So underline similar term. When you underline similar term, right, with the sign, okay, minus, this minus belongs to 24. This minus belongs to 14. This plus belongs to 63n. Okay, so with different, so underline with different lines, so you can clearly see different terms, right? Different similar terms, all right? So then it's going to be quite easy for you, right? Okay, you start this question. Do you know how to do this question? They have 3 different denominators. Okay, I think you can do this question, but I want to highlight one important step here. You have 3 different denominators. So when you have 3 different denominators, how you come up with that same denominator then? How? What's the concept you use? Okay, looks good. So you should use LCM. So you have you have 5, 4, 2. So how do you get the same denominator, right? So you use LCM. So it looks like there's nothing common here. You cannot put something here such that, okay, is divisible by 3 of them. So the lowest common multiple is 40. So that's how you decide the common denominator should be 40. Are you clear? You make use of the concept of LCM. All right. So that's why you need to learn LCM. All right. So I will leave this to you. Just more complicated. Okay. So before we talk about 201, 202, let's go to our slide 31, which is how do you use factorization, or how do you do factorization? Okay, so I think you somehow learned factorization before without you knowing it. Okay, let's give an, let me just duplicate this, then move to 37. Okay, good. So what if you have 2 plus 4 and then you have 8? So how do you do this? A lot of students, 6 over 8, right? Then divide by 6, divide by 2, 3, divide by 2, 4. So the simplest form is 2 over 4. Okay, this is what you do, right? Okay, good. So when you divide by a 2 here, right? When you divide by a 2 here, you get 3. When you divide by a 2 here, you get 4. So what you are actually doing, I'm going to show you what you are actually doing. So what you are actually doing is this. Without you knowing is, you are actually split the 6 to 2 times 3. You split the 8 to 2 times 4. And then therefore you see both 2 here and 2 here. That's why you cancel the 2. And then you end up with 2 over 4. When you split the 6 to 2 times 3, when you split the 8 to 2 times 4, you are actually doing factorization. You are actually doing factorization. Okay, you are actually doing factorization. So this is called so what I'm trying to say is, why you split to 2 times 3 and why you split to 2 times 4 while you're 6, right? You can split to 1 times 6, and your 8 you can split to 4 times 2. Why not you split to this? Can I split to this? Do you think I can split to this? I can, but does it help or not? Does it help or not? No. Why not? Why it does not help? Because if you split to this, 1 times 6, 4 times 2, you don't see anything common here. There's nothing common, both numerator and denominator. You have a 1, you have a 6 here, and you have a 4, and you have a 2 here. So these are 4 different numbers. You don't have anything in common. So if you don't have anything in common, you cannot cancel. Okay? But if I split to 2 times 3, and if I split to 2 times 4, can I see that I have something common, right? Both numerator and denominator, I have a 2. So if I have something common, I make use of the law, the so-called the rule, which I can cancel similar terms. Okay, so I will end up with the answer 4 over 4. 3 over 4. Okay, so given this simple example, right? Actually, the goal is for you to take out a we call it the common factor. And we learn about the concept of common factor when we are doing HCF. So if I give you 8, I give you 16, what is the common factor? 2, right? Common factor means divisible by both. So you get 4, and then you get 8 here, and then continue. You can put a 2 here, 2 and 4. You can continue further, 2, 1 and 2. Okay, in fact, your HCF of 8 and 16 is actually times them together, you get 8. So in fact, if you have 8 over 16, right, you should split the 8 into 8 times 1. And then for 16 is 8 times 2. Can you see that you have a common factor here? And if you have both 8, what you can do? Cancel. Cancel. And then your answer is 1 over 2. Okay, so the concept of common factor. Okay, so the concept of common factor will lead to factorization, which is slide 31. All right, so let's continue from here. So how we continue from here then? So we have reached these steps, right? We have reached this step, but how are we going to continue from here? The question we ask ourselves is this and this. So let's do one by one. So I'm going to write down 2y squared plus 4y. Okay, I don't put the 2 in first. I don't put the 2 in first. I will tell you why later on. I mean, I can like open the bracket. I don't want to open the bracket first. I will tell you why later on. So 2y squared plus 4y. This term, right? Can I ask you what is common among 2y squared and 4y? Y is common, okay. Anything else? That means they both have a y. What else? Even number, which is a 2, right? So basically it's 2y, right? So 2y squared compared to 4y, you can see that they both have a 2. If you split it, that's how you split it, right? That's how you split, right? So you split your 2y squared into this. Okay, you can actually split the y squared further into y times 1. That means expansion. Expand it. So for the 4y, you can expand it this way, right? Why you expand it this way? Because when you expand it this way, then only you can see what is common between these two terms. So when you see what is common, okay, they both have a 2. They both have a y. Okay, so since they both have 2 and y, then you can, in fact, what you can do is take it out. So they both have the 2, they both have a y. So you take it out. Can you see that you take out the 2y, right? From this 2y squared, can you see that you are left with y or not? Are you okay? Can I continue? Okay, good. So one more time. This is very important. Huh? So you expand 2y squared, you expand 4y into this format first. So once you expand it, then you see that, oh, they both have 2y. So you take out 2y. So once you take out 2y, right, from the 2y squared, you will see that you have y left. And you take out 2y, you're left with 2 from, you take out 2y from 4y, you're left with 2. Okay, so you have done factorization already. So this is called factorization. Okay, you can test whether you have factorized correctly. Open it again. Can you see that you end up with the same answer? You end up with the question. So if you end up with the question, that means your factorization is successful and is correct. Are you clear? How you do factorization and check your answer on the spot? So you have factorized this. Good. Let's continue. So I have factorized 2y squared plus 4y into this format. So I just change this to this. the factorization. Okay. Similarly, 4y plus 8. So I have 4y, I have 8. What is common? How do you split? This is 4 times y, and this is 4 times 2. Can you see that they both have 4? So if they both have 4, I can take out 4. So here, I can take out 4. So if I take out 4, I take out 4 from 4y, I left with y. I take out 4 from 8, I left with 2. So test 4y plus 8. I end up with the original form. That's why I have successfully factorized and my factorization is correct. So good. Are you clear? So far so good. How you factorize and how you check. Okay, good. Then can you see that you have a y plus 2 above, you have a y plus 2 on below. So what you can do, cancel. Can you see that these 2y times 2 is 4y, and you can divide by 4, so your answer is y. So the final answer is y for this question. So far so good. So far so good. Okay, good. So if you look at the first question of this flow, so let's look at question 108. So you have 5a squared, 25ab. So how do you decide? Okay, they both have, okay, you split, okay, 5a squared, you can split to 5aa times in between minus. So you can split to 5ab, right? Why? Why you split to 5 times a times b? Because you want to have common factor. So you see that, hey, I have 5 common. I have a common. That's all. So take out my 5a. So if I take out my 5a, right? A left minus 5b. Are you clear? Are you clear? That's how you factorize. And this is the answer. Okay, pretty fast, right? Okay, good. So if you look at a more complicated question, which is this, let me just do this. Okay, let me just do this. Probably I do the A first, and then you have a sense, a better sense. Okay, let me do A first before I do the B. Okay, let's write down the answer. 39 AB squared plus 13A squared B cubed. So how do you split this? I see that there is a 13 here. So I just somehow figure out this 3 times 13, which give me 39 times A times B times B, 2B, because B squared. Over here, 13 is 13 times 1 times how many A? 2A. How many B? 3B. Okay, so given this, highlight common. 13 is common. Then A is common. And then what? 2B is, B squared is common. So that, what I do? Take out the common factor. 13AB, BB means B squared. Okay, so what is left after taking 13AB squared out from this thing is 3 left. What is left? 1 times A times B, so AB. So this is the answer. Are you clear? So to factorize, right, you have to split. Okay, split, and then you will see the common factors. So once you see the common factors, then you just pick it out and then just write the left, whatever is left over. Are you clear? Are you clear before I move to B? Okay, good. Thanks. So let me just do B. B is how many terms? 4 terms. So how are we supposed to do this? Okay, by the way, when you have four terms, well, what do I mean by four terms? Four terms means first term, second term, third one, fourth. Okay, that's why I say four terms. When you have four terms, right, you need to group. Okay, what do I mean by that? 4p squared plus 28pq, group them. Okay. Okay. By the way, if you don't want to group them like this, you can group the. Okay. Why? Okay. Let me show you. There is another way to group it. Let me group like this. Let me group the first and the third, and then let me group the second with the fourth. So if I decide to group it like this, then I have to rearrange it a bit. Okay. First and third group. Second and fourth group. Are you clear? Do you know how I come to this? I group first and third, and then second and fourth. And then once you reach this step, right, then you can actually do the factorization. This is one group, and then this is the other group. Then now just split accordingly. 4p squared is 4 times p times p. This one is 4 times 2 times p. Okay, then for this one, hold on, so we use just different color. So this is 2856. I can see that 28 times 1 times p times q. And this one is 28 times 2 times q. Okay. Then what you do next? Take out common factor. For the first group, I have 4, I have p, I have 4, I have p. So that means 4p is common. So I take out 4p. So if I take out 4p, p left. Minus sign in between, minus. Take out 4p from 8p, 2 left. So factorization for the first group, done. Now I'm going to do the second group. 28 q and q. Take out this 28q. So if I take out 28q, p left. By the way, the 1 is 1 times p is p, right? So I don't need to care about the 1. So then 2 left plus minus, so I write the minus 2. So can you see you can actually continue further? Can you see that you can continue further? Do you know how to continue further? You reach this step already now. How do you continue further? Any idea? Now you reach this step. After the grouping and then 4p squared. No, you don't want to open it up. If you open it up, you will end up with the. I mean, you can test, but now it's not for you to test. Now it's for you to continue to factorize. Can you see that you have this common? You have this in common. Can you see that? Meaning what? Meaning, how do you split this? You split this into this. So how do you split the next one? You split it this way. Can you erase your handwriting? So you split it like this. So and then you realize, oh, I have this in common. Not only you have this in common, I hope you can see that your this 28, you can split it to 4 times 7. Right? So then you have another 4 in common as well. Can you see it? Then take out common 4 bracket p minus 2. So 4p minus 2 is common. So if you take it out from here, p left. If you take out from here, this is a plus 7q. That's the answer. That's the answer for this question. All right. All right. I know it's a bit complicated, but as you know, because we, oh, by the way, if you look at your textbook, Okay. Factorization is actually, we have completed more than 50% of your textbook 1A already. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have reached the midpoint or slightly more than the midpoint of your textbook 1A. So you expect the difficulty level to be there. Okay. That's why there are difficult questions like this. But as you do more often, right, then you will feel that this is a piece of cake. Okay. But the most important thing is, do you understand this flow or not? Do you understand this flow? All right. Yeah. Good. So if next time, right, if you have a question and you have 4 terms, think of this. 4 terms, think of this. Group first. Once you group, factorize. Once you factorize further. All right. All right. Okay. So we have talked about factorization. Okay. So factorization, if I need to give you a summary about factorization, is take out, or you can use the word factorize. Factorization is a noun, right? So factorize out common factor. Okay, think of this, 8 over 12. So 8 over 12, if you want to factorize, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, this, you factor out common factor 4, therefore you can cancel. So you end up with 2 over 3. Okay. All right. So this is the key points. You factorize out the common factor so that you can cancel. All right. So therefore, if you have, let's say 8 plus 12b, so you factor 4 times 2, you factor 4 times 3 times b. So you can see that you have a common factor 4. So you have a common factor 4, then you factor it out. Then 2 left plus 3b. Are you clear? So this is the factorization. Are you clear? Are you clear? Okay, good. So looks like we might not have enough time to go through the other questions, but I think we have covered the most important part. Okay, for this one, I will talk about it face to face. Okay, in our next lesson. All right. So our next lesson will be face to face. So then I will talk about this. Okay. Okay. Any other question for me before we conclude today? Okay, good. So if there is no question, then yeah. So this lesson is recorded, so you can watch this recorded video anytime you want. Right. All right. So thank you so much. Then bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.